Hello and welcome to The Journey. This is where I share my journey through infertility and adoption. If you want to follow along, hit the subscribe button down below. A few weeks ago, I already talked about how the COVID crisis is affecting fertility treatments, and I wanted to go back this week and explain what is happening on the adoption front. So maybe you can spread a little bit of love to those people that are all going through fertility treatments, but also adoption during this very, very difficult time. First, let's start with just the simplest one. International adoptions are halted. Whether you've been matched, whether you were greenlit to actually go to that country and pick them up, those are halted. Specifically in China, obviously they got hit the first and the most significantly as far as adoptions. People had already booked travel and had to cancel it as soon as those travel bans hit and are still in a holding pattern now, which is just devastating for those people that have the pictures and the little videos of the kiddo they're supposed to bring home to their family and can't right now. There is no news on when those travel bans are going to be lifted, but China has already said that adoptions are its top priority as far as reopening things to foreign travelers. Next up, foster kiddos. This is heart-wrenching. Foster kiddos obviously are sheltering in place with their foster families, which means parental visits, for the most part, depending on states, have been canceled for the time being because they break quarantine. So foster families and bio families are having to use Zoom and Skype and FaceTime to try to get those bonding moments in, but I can only imagine that it's so devastating for both sides to not have that for the kids. It's just so devastating for the kids to not be able to see their bio parents on a regular basis and, to be quarantined, and depending on how long they've been with that foster home, it can be really, really difficult for them. So my heart goes out to all the foster families. It's a reminder to, even if you can't be a foster parent, you can always give support and stuff to foster families, even if they don't need anything particular. Foster kiddos need some extra love, so never be afraid to send an extra present or outfit their way. And finally, on to infant adoptions, domestic infant adoptions. Obviously, this is close to my heart since we adopted our lovely daughter, Evangeline, but they are seeing a huge impact as well. I think one of the most heart-wrenching is the fact that expectant mothers are being put under the same constraints as any other mother that's giving birth right now, which is to say that they are allowed one support person and that's it. In a normal situation, an expectant mom might have, her family and friends, the social worker, and the prospective adoptive parents all in and around in the hospital at different times, and that is all stopped right now. Which is, I just can't imagine that extra bit of strain. They really need that support network, and to have that taken away is really difficult. The flip side of that is, they get private quality time with their child, but if that wasn't what they wanted from the onset, then I don't like the fact that that is being pushed upon them. Next up, usually adoptive families, stay in the hospital, take care of the kiddo, and then if they're in a different state, they have to go to a hotel and wait for the courts to pass an interstate compact, ICPC. I missed a letter somewhere in there. Anyway, so two things there. They're having to not be in the hospital, missing out on those first few days, which are so precious. And I can speak from personal experience when I know that those are some memories that I treasure greatly. And then the next is, instead of going to a hotel, they're having to come up with other plans. So some of them are turning to RVs, and some of them are trying to stay with, friends and family and quarantine away from them and limit that. But I can't imagine another stressor where it's normally like, okay, how do I take care of an infant in a hotel room for 2 weeks? And now it's like, oh, I might not be able to get a hotel room or an Airbnb or whatever. That is, just all of the kudos to any adoptive parents out there that are going through that right now. And finally, adoption finalizations are happening over Zoom? What? Obviously, courts are more or less shut down except for certain cases, and evidently adoption did not make the cut in every state. And so parents are doing the finalization of adoptions via Zoom, which kind of takes some of the magic away, but I'm very happy that at least those are, in fact, moving forward. that has been a quick little newsflash update on how COVID is affecting adoption across the globe. And please share some love with your foster parents, your adoptive parents, your bio parents, and your expectant families, because this is just stress on stress, and I can't imagine going through it right now. All right, until next time, ladies, keep on fighting.